Hi, I'm Justin York and I'm a performance innovation coach from Rubicon Coaching. One of the things that we find when we deal with people is that they have different performance levels or different understanding of tasks that are presented to them, even though they have got the same communication from the same source at the same time. Communication is a strange thing because we all receive communications differently. We apply different filters to them. We apply different understanding to them. And that's because we're just people. And people have a level of difference that is quite unusual and yet can be broadly the same. When we think about people and their communication styles and traits, there are a couple of things that we really have to understand in order to engage them in a whole rounded way. So we have a group of people. Some of them will have a learning preference that is visual, so they like pictures. Some of them will have an auditory preference, so they like the words. And some of them will have a kinesthetic preference, which means they just like to do stuff. They're the thinking, feeling sort of people. Learning preferences are driven or indicated by language and the use of language. So what we find is that if we've got visual people in the room, or the predominance of them is visual, they're going to use language like, I see what you mean. Auditory people may say, I hear what you're saying. And kinesthetic people may say, I think or I feel. And they'll start to use language that refers to their learning preferences. The key to learning preferences is that statistically, there's about 63% of the population that are predominantly visual. There's about 18% that are auditory and the remainder kinesthetic. When we look at those percentages, there's a better than even chance that we've got more visual people in the room than we have anybody else. So we might want to use in our presentation, we may wish to use more visual language, or we may wish to use more pictures in our PowerPoint slides. People understand things different ways. If you communicate with them in the ways that they understand and they prefer, and that may mean changing your style slightly so that you can encompass all of those learning preferences, then they will get the same message at the same time, and they may not understand it completely the same way, but they'll be more understanding as a group than they would have otherwise been. So it's about understanding there are differences in the learning preferences, there is difference in the language, and the numbers of people that are likely to be one preference or the other is going to be different. You need to adjust your style and your approach to take that into account. And if you can do that, then you're going to get the whole audience engaged at the same time. So that's how we think about communication with people. That's some of the things that we can do to assist our communication with groups. And if you use those things, you're likely to get a better engaged audience. Thanks.